playing the last full concert on a stage that has been there for a long time.
I know. I think they were misinformed. I think they thought, you know, like U2 was there or something.
And the last time that stage was going to be down.
I know, we literally tore it up.
This week on Headline Country, Dierks Bentley comes home to the mother church of country music. Jason Aldean's party is coming to an end, but not before he leaves a few tattoos of his own on Nashville. Keith Urban and Jake Owen help make up the soundtrack for an intense movie starring real-life heroes. And we'll tell you which 3 guys made it to the final 3 for this year's ACM New Artist of the Year. Plus, Waylon Jennings' widow, Jessie Coulter, gathers an impressive list of modern-day outlaws for a tribute to one of the originals.
Hey, y'all, I'm Dierks Bentley, and Headline Country starts right now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Stormy Warren. Welcome to Headline Country. To celebrate the launch of his new album titled Home, Dierks Bentley came home to the stage of the historic Ryman Auditorium. And he wasn't alone.
Am I the only one who wants to have fun tonight?
You and I have been talking about this record for quite some time and about the different. This has been an evolution, this album.
It has been, man. God.
This wasn't just walk in, take 12 songs and do it. It sounded like there was a lot of agony in the creative process
There was,
with
man.
this.
Yeah, this was one of those records, you know, I look back on like a Modern Day Drifter where I cut that in 11 days, you know. I just slept in the studio literally and just, you know, we had all the songs written and we went out in there and knocked it out. I just put a lot of time into it, you know, just getting the right production, the right songs, the right sounds, and actually went into the studio a couple different times to just get it right. And it took about 1.5 years of writing and listening and recording, but in the end, I knew when we had it, you know, and I was really glad we took the time to make it the way we did, but this wasn't just like, hey, let's go record songs and just have fun. It was like, let's keep digging, keep trying, keep working, keep getting it right.
Was it because you had taken such a departure away with Up on the Ridge and you were coming back to mainstream country? It had to be done the right way.
Yeah, it did. You know, with Up on the Ridge, it really was kind of like pulling the plug and everything, just getting off the grid and just making this kind of grassy record that I had always wanted to make. And so coming down off that, it's like, okay, now where do I go? You know, how do we get back? Because I wanted to go back to where I was. I wanted to evolve the sound a little bit. And so I took a bus with a bunch of musicians. We went to Asheville, North Carolina, and had a blast. 5 days just recording. And from those sessions came Am I the Only One, which was, it's been one of the best songs for the road we've ever had.
To mainstream
yeah, it was great. But
#1 very fast.
#1 very fast, and the girls get up on the shoulders very fast, and the beers get raised up in the air. It's just a great song for the road.
It's time to get it on. Am I the only one who wants to have fun tonight?
I went back on the road after recording that song, and you know, fans right up in your face, and it was like, it really helped me remind me of exactly what I wanted to do with my record, or just the sound I wanted to use. And I think after Up on the Ridge, I kind of was like, okay, I'm not going to make a record with that many banjos or mandolins or dobros. I'm going to make more of a mainstream country record. But then after,
You don't want to forget that part either.
yeah, but well, that's what happened. I kind of did that. Then I got back out there on the road with our fans, and I'm like, wow, man, I love playing the banjo and the fiddle and the mandolin, having that in our show. But I love the electric guitars too, and the kick drum that way it hits the crowd. And so I was like, why don't we just turn them all up to 11 and see what happens?
This is still the place that we all call home.
I just felt this is a really important record to really define who I am as an artist. You know, there's the country, what I love about country, what I love about the bluegrass instrumentation, and what I love about rock and roll energy, just really getting that all kind of together on one record was really important to me, and it took a long time to get it right.
I'm the kind that likes to take it slow.
The duet with Karen Fairchild, I mean, I love the story. It was a pretty organic invitation to be a part of this.
Having a few drinks at a party. Hey, you want to be on my record? Yeah, love to.
Next day, boom.
Yeah, exactly. This song, it's a great song that I'd heard as a duet when John Randall, my good friend and producer, he pitched it to me. I heard it, I was like, well, I wanted to make a duet out of it, you know, and the first person I thought of that I've always wanted to sing with was Karen. I love Little Big Town. They're so talented. They're stupid talented. And she's got such a great, breathy, you know, soulful voice, and she's cool, you know. She's the kind of girl you can go up to the bar and be like, hey, want to sing on my record?
Yeah.
All right, let's trade numbers. And
Now, other than Sweet and Wild with Sarah Buxton, which really wasn't a duet, so to speak, was this the first real duet?
You know, Miranda and Jamie Johnson
were
on Bad Angel. I've had Alison Krauss on a bunch of tracks, but, you know, I just never really made them full duets, you know, so it's a full duet. It was really fun.
I don't want to lose this feeling. I don't want to close my eyes.
You're going to celebrate the launch of this record with a pretty big milestone, especially for one of your favorite buildings in Nashville. You're playing the last full concert on a stage that has been there for a long time.
Yeah, it's time to get it on. Am I the only one who wants to have fun tonight?
They're ripping the stage up at the Ryman. I mean, it's you hear that, you're like, what? Why would they do something like that, you know? But the current stage has been on the Ryman for the last 60 years, so all of our heroes have, you know, sung on that stage. And it's just the wood is, you know, it's just old and it can't support the modern rock acts and country bands too that come through with a lot of production. It's just old. The great thing is they've already told me that we can have all that wood in our bus. So we're gonna, the floors, the walls, the ceiling, we're gonna be surrounded by the Ryman wood. I wish.
It'll make her feel that fine.
Yeah, it puts a little bit of pressure on us, you know, the last live show at the Ryman before they rip that stage up. So I want to do something that really, I want to tear it up, for our fans out there. But I also want to, you know, do something that's memorable and you know, and gives a lot of, you know, shines a favorable light on all the bands that have been there before us and all the great stories and all our heroes. So I want some good moments to be out there.
That's how you know I'm thinking.
If you get a little piece of wood, can you just save like about just a little inch?
Got the little chisel and
just
take a piece, yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
There's gonna be security guards on stage watching our every move. They know what a fan I am of that building.
Though Dierks is credited with the last full concert on the 60-year-old stage, it was actually Keith Urban who got the last word as the final performer the very next night on the Grand Ole Opry. Once the new stage is laid, the band Perry will get the honor of being the first performers to play on the new and improved floor. An 18-inch strip of the old stage will remain intact, lining the front apron. Dierks' new album, Home, is in stores now. When we come back, the votes are in. We'll tell you who made the final cut for this year's ACM New Artist of the Year. Country music had quite a presence on last Sunday's Grammy Awards. Lady Antebellum owns the night and now another Grammy Award. The platinum-selling trio took home the coveted Country Album of the Year honor at the 54th Annual Grammy Awards, besting the likes of Jason Aldean, Eric Church, George Strait, and Taylor Swift.
Why you gotta be so mean?
Don't feel bad for Taylor, however. The 22-year-old's mean streak earned the superstar 2 golden megaphones for Best Country Song and Best Solo Performance. And Taylor wasn't the only country star seeing double. Her touring partners, the Civil Wars, took home 2 Grammys of their own. One for Best Country Performance by a duo or group for Barton Hollow, and another for Best Folk Album. For a complete list of Grammy winners, visit headlinecountry.net. Well, the Grammys may be the granddaddy of music awards, but the big night was just one of the stories making country headlines this week.
And
While the world continues to mourn the loss of pop icon Whitney Houston, country legend Dolly Parton is using her voice to express her love and admiration for the fallen star. In a statement to Headline Country, Parton says, quote, "Mine is only one of the millions of hearts broken over the death of Whitney Houston. I will always be grateful and in awe of the wonderful performance she did on my song. And I can truly say from the bottom of my heart, Whitney, I will always love you. You will be missed." Parton wrote I Will Always Love You in 1973. Houston's 1992 pop rendition of the song went on to become an international hit and one of her best-known ballads. Houston was 48. First, there were 8, and now there are 3. Brantley, Gilbert, Hunter Hayes, and Scotty McCreery have officially been named as this year's final 3 nominees for the ACM New Artist of the Year category. Get to know the 3 guys a little better on the GAC special ACM New Artist of the Year, which premieres Monday, March 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, be sure to visit headlinecountry.net to learn how you can continue to vote for your favorite. The winner will be announced live Sunday, April 1st during the 47th Annual Academy of Country Music Awards. Fans can also vote for the Entertainer of the Year category. One of the original Outlaws lives on through a collection of songs that includes some of country's most well-known rebels, paying tribute to Waylon Jennings through a host of songs that made him famous. Hank Williams Jr. and Jamie Johnson are among the list featured on the second installment of the 3-volume set titled Waylon, The Music Inside.
The thing with him or me, we're not gonna put ourselves in a pigeonhole. And we're not gonna say we're country. We're not gonna do that. We play music.
The album series was created by Jennings' wife Jessie Coulter and son Shooter Jennings. The two collaborated on the project with several artists greatly influenced by Jennings' music, including Montgomery Gentry, Jewel, Dierks Bentley, and many more.
When Dierks came in the studio after not working for 3 months, his throat was real raspy, and he just jumped right on this to do Lonesome on a Minute. There's been a lot of magic that's gone into this.
The 11-track collection is available everywhere music is sold. Coming up, we'll go Music Row party hopping with Jason Aldean and David Nail. Welcome back to Headline Country, where it's time to hit a couple of parties. One for a guy who has become quite accustomed to accolades lately, and another for a very talented singer who recently enjoyed his first ride to the top of the country singles charts.
Like tattoos on this town.
To celebrate Jason Aldean's latest #1 hit, Tattoos on This Town, you didn't need permanent ink to get through the door. A little airbrushing worked just fine.
You know the tattoos aren't real, right?
Trust me, I know all 3 of those guys and none of them look like that, so it's all good. Airbrush.
Written by Michael Delaney, Wendell Mobley, and Neil Thrasher, Tattoos is Aldean's career 8th and now 4th consecutive #1 from his My Kind of Party album.
I like it. I could get used to it, man. It's been a great, great couple of years, obviously, with the singles and the album, and Tattoos being the newest #1. So, it was obviously a big song for us, man. So we're glad to be here, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good day.
Adding to Jason's good day came news that his latest single, Flyover States, has been flying all over the competition on its way up the charts.
They'd understand why God made those flyover states.
Yeah, Flyover is the 5th and final single from this record. It'll be the last one, and it's been around for a while, man. We actually almost put it on my Wide Open record, and for whatever reason, we just didn't put it on there, and so I told myself I was going to put it on the My Kind of Party album, which we did, and I'm glad to have it out there, give people a chance to hear it, and hopefully like it the way I did.
And while Jason says he's anxious to share some new music with fans, the superstar admits that he's a little sad to see this party come to an end.
This album has been huge for my career, and for that reason you kind of hate for that run to end, but at the same time I'm also really excited about the new album. We just kind of putting the finishing touches on that, and I think that we just got finished making another great record, man, so I'm excited about it.
My Kind of Party became 2011's top-selling country album of the year and the #5 bestseller in all genres, selling more than 2 million copies. So when it comes to his next project, success equals pressure.
That was one thing I kind of consciously thought about when we went in to record this new album was, I didn't want to go in and try to make, My Kind of Party 2. It's kind of its own individual thing. I think the new record is equally as good. Obviously it's going to be different, but I think we got some killer stuff on there. So I'm excited, but I mean, when you have an album like this and to go in and try to match it or top it, and kind of be thinking about that right off the bat, I think you're kind of setting yourself up a little bit. So if it does as well, which I hope it does, then that's great. If it does half as well, that's great. So I'll be happy either way.
I think that when you've waited as long as I have for a moment like this, for a day like this, you're kind of apprehensive to who's going to be in the room, just because there's going to be a lot of people that have kind of been with you from the beginning. I've told myself not to curse or cry. If I was a betting man, I probably wouldn't bet for either one of them to not come true.
Let it rain, let it pour, she don't love me anymore.
Since hitting the music scene in early 2002, Nails fans have shown their love and support for this soulful country singer. In fact, they even helped him make history by keeping the song alive for over 48 weeks on the charts before pushing it all the way to the top.
The fans just love music, and they love it just as much as if it's 5 or if it's 1. You know, I think there's been an appreciation on their end of, you know, here's a guy who didn't give up. You know, hopefully that's inspiration to others.
Fueling his dedication to the craft, David jumped at the opportunity to work with veteran songwriter Jonathan Singleton on Let It Rain. His co-writing credits on the song made landing his first #1 even more special.
Jonathan, I'm a huge fan. He's just a phenomenal guitar player and singer and artist and songwriter. He came in, it really was an easy song to write.
Let it come down on me, let it rain.
Now, songwriting is one thing. Acting in the music video was a completely different animal, especially when it came time to work with a woman other than his wife.
Well, I think anytime there's a woman in the room that's not your wife and you know she's kind of not really clothed, it makes for an awkward moment. That wasn't acting, that was definitely me just being, you know, plain uncomfortable. And even she, you know, her name was Lacey. In fact, she asked me a few times, she's like, you know, is your wife coming down here? And I was like, I sure hope not.
Still to come, country stars answer the call of duty to help create a soundtrack for a real-life war movie starring real-life Navy SEALs. Well, finally today, Hollywood came to Music City to celebrate the premiere of the new movie Act of Valor. But the Nashville party wasn't as much about the film as it was for its country star-filled soundtrack. It was an act of valor and some real-life heroes that brought out the stars for a special red carpet premiere in Nashville.
I think it's a really moving film. I mean, it's an intense film.
I think they portrayed all the situations really, really well.
I remember watching the guys and realizing this is the real deal. This is not an actor thing.
Inspired by and starring real-life active duty Navy SEALs, the action thriller chronicles the powerful story of brotherhood amongst the world's most elite and highly trained group of U.S. warriors.
Frag out!
Along with using real-life servicemen instead of actors, the film's authenticity was heightened to new levels using real military scenarios and, more importantly, real bullets while filming.
Once again, to maintain the authenticity and legitimacy of this film, we had to work in a live fire environment.
1920 is the last time they had live fire on it. When you see this film, you're gonna see the difference. Those are real tracer bullets. Those are that flame is definitely legit coming out of those barrels. Going hot.
It really puts things in perspective that, I mean, I'm a singer, dude. I sing songs and play guitar. My life consists of people coming up to me on a daily basis, wanting an autograph or wanting a photo. I realize how insignificant, you know, we really are.
Heroes on the job and now on the big screen. The Navy SEALs put their all into the film and then turned to another group of professionals when it came time for the soundtrack. And it was country music's best that answered the call, starting with Keith Urban, whose song For You is featured in the film's closing credits.
I saw the film in October. Here in Nashville, they did a private screening for us, and I took a bunch of notes thinking that would really, this is what I'll use to start writing the song. The last thing I wanted was a big, let's go kill a bunch of people, gung-ho, testosterone-fueled song. It's not what I wanted. I wanted something to try and convey a sense of that these guys just want to go home. They want to get the job done and go home.
Other artists on the soundtrack include Sugarland, Lady Antebellum, Trace Adkins, Josh Kelly, Jake Owen, and Wynonna. Look for the soundtrack to hit stores February 24th.
I wrote a song for the soundtrack of this movie called The Best I Can. And a buddy and I just kind of wrote it about how all of us, whether you're a SEAL team member or whether you're a singer or whether, you know, you go to work every day behind a desk and do your thing. I mean, you have to wake up every morning, put your boots on, put your jeans on one leg at a time, and do the best you can.
So I'm just trying to do the best I can. The best I can. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can.
I think we really got to thank Keith to start. You know, Keith saw the film and completely connected to it in all the ways that we want people to connect to it.
Well, there's strong family ties, there's strong communal ties, there's strong sense of brotherhood and belonging, and all those elements, I think, are at certainly in the fabric of country music.
We tell real stories about real people in the real world. Country music is the backdrop of everyday life.
Look for Act of Valor in a theater near you. Well, thanks for watching Headline Country. Until next week, you can visit us at headlinecountry.net for all the latest country music news and information. Take care, everybody.
God bless you guys, all the soldiers and their families for this great country we live in. I think that's it.